Now, as you all know, the film industry has been suffering throughout this year of 2023, not just because of all the different agendas that have been thrown into many different franchises out there, like Star Wars, Marvel, and let's not forget about major other franchises as well that join the list. But we also have a lot of things going on right now with actress Brie Larson, who is set to star in the up-and-coming The Marvels, which is going to be a highly criticized MCU film for multiple reasons and factors. We'll dive into that a little bit later. But we know that Disney is facing a lot of issues with this film in particular, based on director Nia DaCosta's recent comments about the film, and how it really is all about basically becoming the wackiest and silliest Marvel film to date. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what's been going on with Brie Larson. Now, this has been an ongoing development about her blacklisting and banishment from Hollywood, as many studios are joining the list of wanting nothing to do with Brie Larson at all moving forward. And a lot of these studios, some of which are beginning to slowly turn the tide away from all of these woke agendas, away from all of these nonsense, ideas that are thrown in by these producers. Universal is slowly but surely trying to wake up from all of that. Now, we know that everything happening right now with Brie Larson is really not good. The Marvels is going to be a big dent in her career, if not a make or break situation for her, as it's already creating a lot of studios to want nothing to do with her, based on the looming damage that it's going to do to Disney. Let's get into this. Now, with actress Brie Larson already struggling to getting acting roles after the Marvels, since many studios have banished her from getting the chance to star in their own movies and shows, the entire situation just got worse for Larson, who is often described as box office poison. Now, one major development has to do with her blacklisting that has now expanded to other studios like Paramount, Skydance, Lionsgate, Columbia, and more that want nothing to do with her and refuse to give her a role. However, Universal recently stepped on the brake, where they are now already in the process of removing Larson from both Fast X Part 2 and Part 3, also known as Fast and Furious 11 and 12. Larson was promised to have a huge role in the next two films for Fast and Furious, and upon Universal learning about the Marvels disaster looming for Disney, they didn't want her associated with these two movies and are progressing to breaking that deal with either a full-on recast of her character or erasing her completely from the storyline, which will make changes to the plot. Now, Larson is also getting removed from a MonsterVerse film that is in the works that is set to be a direct sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong 2 that was going to bring back Larson's character from Kong Skull Island. WB quickly decided to drop her from these conversations and are no longer happening after the ongoing Marvel's drama and box office collapse looming for Disney and the Marvel Studios. Now guys, let me just pause here because there's more to talk about than ever before about this whole situation. Now, we know that Brie Larson is a very hard person to work with. We know that she created a lot of problems for the Avengers cast. You guys may recall the whole scenario that happened years ago. But what's even all the more, vivid at this point in time is that nobody wants to work with Brie Larson. They all know, all these major studios are waking up that she literally is box office poison, like I said earlier. She drives away numbers, she drives away people getting into seats, and at the end of the day, I think that the Marvels is even going to cause more damage to her career than any other project that has come before, whether it be attached to Disney or anything else that she has done. She also got a lot of flack, mind you, for the Nissan commercial, Drop the Taco commercial. Do you guys remember that whole criticism a couple of years ago? I'm sure that you do. If you don't, look it up. Brie Larson Nissan commercial criticism. Now, we know that Nissan is also slowly but surely removing her. We'll get to that in just a second. And it just goes to show you that there is a lot of things going on with Brie Larson's banishment from Hollywood, this blacklisting, if you will, that is an ongoing development as more Hollywood studios want nothing to do with her. And this is at the end of the day where a lot of studios have learned that the test screenings for the Marvels essentially have been failing more and more. We really can't get a grasp on exactly how, disastrous the box office numbers will be specifically, but we can most definitely say that the box office numbers are really not going to be good for the Marvels, let's be clear. Now, it's still set for that November 10th release date window. Disney has been debating and having conversations about quite possibly delaying the film until 2024, but let's, move further. Now, Larson is also getting phased out from the Nissan commercials slowly, as they too want nothing to do with her anymore in their commercials, which is why she has been appearing less and less in TV spots and ads for their new vehicles, including the Nissan Z. This all comes after many studios have learned that Brie is a very hard actress to work with, and that even Universal had tough times with her, making big demands for Fast X when she demanded higher screen time than what she was given initially and was promised. So, I don't know if you guys remember, we talked about this a week ago, but Nissan also wants to essentially fire her and remove her for good from the Nissan commercials by the new year. So by January of 24, they want to give Larson the boot. They don't want anything to do with her anymore because of all the drama that happened over the years. And that's that. That's another prime example. So between Nissan, WB, and Universal all simultaneously dropping her, this is just the beginning. Alright, we already know that other studios like Paramount, Skydance, Lionsgate, Columbia, they don't want anything to do with her anymore. And that is a telltale sign that she really has created such a negative impact in the film industry than one would even imagine. Now look, I'm not gonna sit here and lie that Brie Larson was at least, tolerable years ago. I think that she did a fine job in Kong Skull Island. She wasn't really insufferable like she is today, but in every single thing that she stars in nowadays, she's quite the insufferable actress who plays quite the insufferable character, and that's just a given. So there's a lot of things also happening with Disney. We already talked about this. They are in the process of completely firing her from various projects within the MCU and removing her role as Captain Marvel from various cameo scenes from specific projects for Disney+. The Captain Marvel direct sequel is also cancelled. That was scrapped. And though that was a mixture of the cost containment plan and Larson having a lot of high demands for that movie, it also has led to her giving Disney an ultimatum. She now wants to drop out of Secret Wars. And Secret Wars is going to be probably one of the biggest MCU films yet, if they can, and that's a big if they can get this movie right. And we're not going to see this, by the way, until 2027 to begin with, so that's a far ways. So anyway, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about the whole situation with Brie Larson and what's happening behind closed doors. We'll be talking about this ongoing throughout the fall and keep filling you all in on the whole scenario. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.